Yeah,
One
Belle,
of
and then
my
Glenn, please.
concerns in coming here tonight was precisely that my voice as a black female voice would be overshadowed by homosocial bonding among the men here. And one of the things that Eugene evoked was women and children. And it seems to me that in part of why I wish to see a greater voice from radical black women intellectuals is that I think many of us experience our intellectuality, our stardom, our what have you very differently. And that as I listen, I mean, I feel more and more divorced from this discussion precisely because I feel like I think that my sense of being an intellectual first comes out of being nurtured by black women in black institutions, the church, the school. And so I'm trying to think about what that means in terms of I like to suggest, this is my point, that we have something to learn from many voiceless black women who have been the people trying to keep alive the pursuit of intellectuality in diverse black communities among all classes. And if we don't have mechanisms to hear from those people, to hear from how those allocation of resources. I mean, one of the things that I think about is, Glenn, I recognize that I participate in capitalism. What I think about that I never hear black intellectuals talk about, progressive, affluent black intellectuals or conservatives, is what do we do with our money? And if we don't talk about how we see a redistribution of resources that begins again fundamentally with what am I willing to give up? I don't believe that if I am unwilling to give up some of my resources, that I'm going to convince masses of other people that they should give up some of their resources, because we know capitalism isn't going to end tomorrow. We know that a lot of us black folks are going to be more affluent. The question for me then is, how do we share our resources within the diverse black community? And I see that as a concrete question. For me, dealing with addicts in the family, the concrete question of codependency. To what extent do you share resources to enable, or to what extent do you share resources in the interest of allowing people to redeem their lives? I mean, to me, these are practical, concrete questions, and I venture to say that many black women are dealing with them. I mean, I tell my students all the time that black folks who are crack addicted aren't bleeding white people to death, that the source of who gets bled is families and family life. So that I think that if we want to look for a model of responsibility, we need to look at productive models in those domestic contexts where people are trying to talk about how do you share resources effectively without further disenabling.
Do you want to?
I don't have an answer to that question, but
Well,